Hi guys, my name is Andrew.
And I'm Justin.
And today we're going to be going over the VXTuning Gen 2 headlights. We're going to be going over a DIY install and some new features you guys can find in these headlights. So come along guys and join us on the ride. So guys, let's start off with a full disclaimer. These headlights, as you see here, are prototype headlights. These are not the final products, but these are 90% complete. The actual lighting that you'll be seeing throughout this video though is the final product, and this is what you can expect to receive from VXTuning.
So there will be three options that come with these headlights. We have the OEM chrome, then it's going to come in the black with the chrome high beam, and then the third option that's going to come out with it is it's going to be a chrome 20th anniversary edition with the black bezel.
All three options of these headlights will come with the option to have either amber turn signals, which you can see on the black housing, and then the other option will be clear turn signals, which you can see on the Euro OEM housing over here. The nice feature also about the VXTuning headlights are they are completely glass lenses, which is different from the OEM US spec headlights. They normally are plastic, and in this case they are glass, which will just last longer and they won't dull over time. Once you guys go ahead and actually install the VXTuning headlights, there are a few ways you guys can go about adjusting the headlights so the cutoff on the headlights are correctly aligned. For all of you guys who don't know what the cutoff is, I'll put a diagram up here so you guys can see what the cutoff actually is. VXTuning laser aligns all of their headlights from the factory, so when you guys get the headlights, they should be pretty much spot on. There are a few adjustments you could make if it's not exactly perfect, so let me just show you guys exactly where these adjustments are. When reinstalling the headlights, make sure that you hand tighten all 4 bolts. This will allow the headlights to still move left and right and up and down. This will also give you a millimeter or so of play with those headlights so you can get the cutoff aligned properly. Looking at the rear of the headlights, there are 2 adjustments. The one closest to the projector is used for down and up adjustments, while the one closest to the high beam is used for left and right adjustments. You will have to use an Allen key to adjust whichever one of the adjusters you need to align your headlights properly. Okay guys, so now without further ado, let's go ahead and let's actually install these headlights on the Mark IV R32. First step is to lay out all your tools you are going to need to remove your front bumper and headlights. Please remove front bumper and headlights. So guys, now that the headlights are installed on the car, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the 4 bolts going around the headlights are hand tight. This is really important for adjusting the cutoff in the next step. You're going to want to now take the car, back it out of the garage, and make sure that it's about 18 to 20 feet away from a wall. Doing so, this will allow you to adjust the cutoffs properly. What we ended up doing next, we ended up working on the passenger side headlight first and making sure that the cutoffs were aligned correctly. So what we did was we made sure that the cutoffs were flat, and we also made sure that the distance from the middle of the projector to the floor is the same on the car as what it is on the wall. So for our case, we measured 25 inches from the middle of the projector to the ground, and we also then measured from the ground to the garage cutoff 25 inches, and if it needed to, we would adjust the headlights and the cutoff to match 25 inches. This is important to make sure that the headlights are going to be aligned properly. Once the passenger side was all aligned, the driver's side was a little bit more tricky for us to get aligned. We actually had to adjust it using the adjusters in the back of the headlights that we showed earlier on. But after a little bit of fooling around and just making sure that we could get those adjusters just right, we dialed in the headlights and they are now aligned properly. So the next step we're gonna have to do, guys, is go ahead, slap back on the bumper on the car, get everything bolted down, and then we can go finally take the car and try out these headlights basically for the first time. So let's go ahead and let's jump into putting this bumper back on the car. Okay guys, let's show you guys some quick little comparisons between the Gen 2 headlights and the OEM US spec R32 headlights. First, let's show you guys the low beams. Next, let's show you guys the high beams. Turn signals, city lights. And hazards. Okay guys, so me and Justin just came back from the drive, and Justin, what do you think of these headlights?
These headlights blow the OEM lights out of the water. Like night and day. It's literally like driving with the sun in your lights.
Yeah, it is so bright. You could see a mile down the road. You could see to the sides without any issues.
Everything's crisp and clear. Like it just comes out perfect.
Yeah, like Justin was even saying, you could see deers on the side of the road. You could see everything, no issues at all. If you have the stock OEM Mark IV lights, like these are night and day differences. It's not even a comparison.
The glass lens on that gives it that crisp look, and it just allows the light to peer through the lens so much better than the plastic lens that yellows over time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like my lights are so dull right now. It's really hard to see, really even with the high beams on at night. So with these, like probably the low beams are still brighter than what the high beams are on the stock OEM lights. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and actually dive more deep into the Gen 2s and talk about how much of a difference there are between the Gen 1 VXTuning headlights and now the Gen 2 VXTuning headlights.
So some of the main differences between the Gen 1 and Gen 2 VXTuning headlights is the Gen 1s came with a 2.5-inch bi-xenon projector, where the new LED headlights come with a 3-inch LED headlight, which pumps out a 5800K color value, which gives you that nice crisp white light that you want to see on the road. It makes everything a high visibility and crisp and clear. And also they come with all LED everything. So the blinkers, the high beams, and the headlights are all LED compared to the version 1, which only had xenon and halogen.
So guys, let's talk about some new features you can find on the Gen 2 headlights. You can now find a turn signal DRL function on these headlights, which is very common in the Euro spec headlights. You can see over here that both of the blinkers are lighting up, in this case amber. In the old Gen 1 headlights, you would actually need to go get a wiring harness to make this functionality happen. In this case, now this comes stock with the Gen 2 headlights, and if you'd want to go revert to more the US spec, which only one of these turn signals would light up, you can just go into the headlight and unplug one of the actual housing lights, and doing so, you can then just have the one light function similar to how the US spec cars operate. So guys, the coolest functionality that I personally think that VXTuning has added to these headlights are the self-leveling adjusters for the headlights. This is more commonly found in Europe and hasn't really been seen too often in the United States, but with these now headlights, you're able to now attach the motors onto the back and level out the headlights. Compared to the OEM setup, they were just set and forget about them. Now you can actually adjust all that functionality with it from inside the cabin, and I personally love that option. It is going to be an extra add-on for the headlights, but I definitely think it's going to be worth it. If you guys are looking for this, definitely check it out. I know personally for me, I will be adding this functionality onto my headlights when I purchase the Gen 2 setup from VXTuning. If you guys want to have all the functionality on the Gen 2 headlights and you live in the US, I would highly recommend buying a Euro switch, which you can see right here. These Euro switches are fairly cheap. You can buy them on VXTuning's website, and they kind of just give you the functionality to be able to switch between the city lights, normal running lights, and also a complete functionality to turn them off. It's really nice compared to the US spec switches, and I'd highly recommend purchasing one if you guys do not have one for your Mark IV yet. Okay guys, so let's have Justin just talk a little bit more about the details of the install, how simple it was, and really what his viewpoint is. Like I mentioned, he's not a Volkswagen guy, so it'd be kind of cool just to see what an outsider's viewpoint is of an install like this.
So the car headlights install was very simple. I would give it, a level 1 rating. Anyone can do it if you have a couple of tools. The headlights were super easy to install. The bumper was pretty easy to remove. The whole process was just a very simple process. It would probably take you no longer than 2 hours. And the headlight install was super easy because there was no ballast and there was no fuses that we had to put in for like the old Xenons. So this was literally just a plug and play kit. We did not do the motors on this yet, but when we do the motors, we will put a video out of us installing the motors. But for right now, just the simple, easy kit. Couldn't get any easier.
Okay guys, so wrapping it up, Justin, what do you think about the overall product you see here?
The product couldn't get any better. The quality of how the product is made, awesome. The clarity of the light, also great. And the install time on it is easy. It's almost as easy as doing headlight bulbs on your regular car.
So there you guys go. Pretty simple overall. I personally love the quality of this, like Justin mentioned, and I just love VXTuning as a brand in general. We want to thank Mike from VXTuning for sending out us these prototype headlights. They are amazing for just being prototypes, and I cannot wait for the final products to come out. Like Justin said, we will definitely be doing a final install once we get our hands on a final product of these VXTuning Gen 2 headlights. So if you guys have any questions about purchasing, availability, when the Gen 2s are going to come out, go hit up VXTuning. I put a link down below for their website. Go contact Mike. He will help you guys out with any questions you guys have about these headlights. They are amazing over there. And Mike, once again, we both just want to say thank you for sending these out to us and giving us this opportunity to work with you guys. So guys, on that final note, like always guys, my name is Andrew.
And I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.